am Dominus Cinephile.
Welcome to my movie and TV series reviews, where I will provide honest opinions of the latest releases. If the movie or TV series is a hit or a miss, be sure to know I will inform you. But if the movie or series is trash, be also sure to know that I will trash the hell out of the movie. I am Dominus Cinephile.
And the movie on the table today is the Nollywood movie Gangs of Lagos. Starring Tobi Bakre, Adesua Itomi Wellington, Chike, Chioma Akpother, Yvonne Jagede, Mr. Macaroni, Bimbo Ademoye, Teo Faniran, Damilola Agunsi, Eniola Badmus, Iabo Ajo, Funka Williams, Yemo Lee, Zlatan, Malik of Ikorodu Boys, Pasuma, Black Kamaru, Olawanifemi Lawal, and Small Mummy. Directed by Jadesola Osaberan. Gangs of Lagos. The much-talked about Nollywood movie from Amazon Prime dropped on the 7th of April on Amazon Prime. Before the release of the movie, Amazon Prime premiered the movie on the 6th of April to a selected number of guests, with the usual razzmatazz that has become the theme for most Nollywood movie premiere. Gangs of Lagos is the first movie to come out of Amazon Prime's 3-year deal with movie director Jadesola Osaberan. The deal is worth millions of naira. Needless to say, these are good times for a few selected movie makers in Nollywood, because it's going to be the fight of the streamers between Netflix and Amazon Prime on who controls the biggest entertainment market in Africa. With a 3-year deal signed and cash in her pocket, Jadesola Osaberan's first movie for Amazon Prime is Gangs of Lagos. Is the movie worth the hype, and will the movie live up to its title like Martin Scorsese's 2002 movie Gangs of New York, or the British crime series by Gareth Evans' Gangs of London starring British-Nigerian actor Sope Dirisu? Last night I had to decide on which movie to watch before going to bed. I had two options. It was either this movie or Warner Brothers and DC superhero movie Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, I chose this for obvious reasons. I wanted to see if the director, Jadesola, was going to give us something different with this movie, bearing in mind the Brotherhood movie which she wrote and produced with Tobi Bakre also starring in it, and the recent The Trade movie which she also wrote and directed. Gangs of Lagos is a story about a group of friends, Obalola, Afai, and Gift, growing up in the bustling and dangerous streets of Asale Echo. After the murder of their adoptive father, the three friends joined a gang, and unknown to them, the same gang they joined was the gang behind their adoptive father's death. Obalola, Tobi Bakre, has vowed to avenge the death of his father, but at what cost? The movie starts with a narration, and the narrator is no other person than Obalola, played by Tobi Bakre. Obalola's younger character is played by Malik, one of the skit-making boys from Ikorodu Boys. It was nice to finally see one of the boys in a movie, but hey, I'm not going to go hard on the boy in terms of his performance as young Obalola. His part kept reminding me of what I keep saying about Nollywood and child actors. Child actors in Nollywood are weak. They need to be trained professionally first, before having him on in front of the camera. Malik was okay in some scenes, especially when it involves him speaking in his dialect, which is Yoruba, but once he switches to English it was a major struggle. Small Mummy is the only child actor in this movie that gets a pass for me. For a 10-year-old, she was good and believable in her role. There's a whole lot of things to unpack from this movie, and I will try to pick them one at a time. If you've seen the movie Brotherhood, produced and written by Jadesola Osaberan, which also stars Tobi Bakre in a similar role as his character here in Gangs of Lagos, the only major difference here is that unlike in Brotherhood, Tobi had no cop playing brother in Fouls. Gangs of Lagos is a weak attempt to direct a movie in the same frame as Brotherhood, which by the way wasn't a great movie. The Lukman Ali directed movie needed a good script to work. Gangs of Lagos needed a good script to work. The truth about it is that the movie lacked depth and the story felt rushed. If you are going to make a movie about gangs while lacing in the corrupt political climate of Lagos State into it, the audience needs to see different tapestries that will weave into a grand design, not just a one-dimensional story or plot that gives the audience an early reveal to the villain. right before the reveal is even made towards the end of the movie. Needless to say, writing for a movie is not for everyone. Like I said earlier, Tobi Bakre's character is no different from the character he played in Brotherhood. While watching this movie, I was trying so hard to differentiate his character from the other movie. His mannerism and acting as Obalola was no different from his acting as Akin Adatula in Brotherhood. There was nothing different from the characters. A good actor knows how to play or act a character different from what he has played before. What is the one quality of a good actor? What is the number one thing a good actor should possess? With a click on Google, if you lack the knowledge of what makes a good actor, this is the answer you will get. A passion for performing and entertaining is a key quality, and a good actor should have the confidence to portray their role in a production convincingly and connect with audiences. They need physicality to convey the emotions, motivations, and intentions of a character through physical movement as well as speech. Tobi Bakre was none of these in his character. His character's intention and motivation was not believable. It felt like he was reading a script rather than acting. I was looking forward to seeing something different. All I got was Adatula with Obalola's name. I can say that since the writer and director of this movie is the same person that wrote and produced the Brotherhood movie, nothing was done in character development for Obalola. There was no fleshing out the character to be different from Adatula. That tells you that little or no effort was put into making this movie any different from Brotherhood. Adatula's character had her ups and downs in this movie, but overall I think in her limited dialogue role she gave a better performance than Tobi. I liked the transition of her expression when she found Chike dead. The camera work in that scene was good. My only issue with her character was that she found it difficult to play that tomboy role she was meant to play. Chike as a Fi the artist was just too weak for me. His character was easily forgettable. You wouldn't even feel he was in the movie. I had some serious issue with the scene that led to his death. How do you go to a rival gang's territory alone to kill someone you were instructed to kill by your gang leader? You went there and you couldn't kill the guy, and to top it up, you were wearing all white from head to toe and walking the streets at night like you're the king of the jungle. Bearing in mind that in this movie your character is the weak one. Make it make sense. Again, weak plot. You don't go into enemy's territory alone even if it's a setup by your boss to kill you. I think we need to ask the director and writer some serious questions. I was beginning to have some serious headaches trying to make sense of some of the plots and scenes in this movie. The movie had some music artists in it: Zalanta, Pasuma, Black Kamaru and Chike. Pasuma was comfortable as a Yoruba-speaking actor. He had the looks and feel of the character he was playing. But like Malik, switching to English was also a problem for him. Same goes for Black Kamaru. Their acting was poor. The dialogue even when speaking Yoruba was weak. It would have been better if the language in the movie was strictly in Yoruba and Pidgin English. Obalola's love interest Tenyola, played by Bimbo Ademoye, was just confusing to me. Her character was looking too old to be Obalola's lover. Casting her made no sense. She could easily play Tobi's mom in this movie. Let me not even dissect her acting. Her acting was like watching those Yoruba Nollywood movies where the actor is trying so hard to sound porch and sassy, but the porch isn't porching. She was annoying to watch. Cinematography was not top-notch, but there were some scenes that made good sense and I would give them that. But as always, sound has been a major problem with Nollywood movies. The sound engineer in Gangs of Lagos had a mind of his own, doing as he pleases and not minding what was going on in the movie. The sound was poor, especially during the fight scenes and gun shooting scenes. The fight choreography and stunts were a bit on the downside, especially the last fight scene involving Obalola and Kazim, played by Olorotimi Fakunle. There was nothing desirable to that fight choreography. Some action scenes in the movie were okay but needed more polishing. Sound wasn't doing any justice to most of the action scenes. Meanwhile, why was it looking like they were punching with their wrist instead of their fist? Why was the timeline of the movie a bit confusing? At the start of the movie, Asale Echo looked like present-day Lagos. The only way you can tell that the director was trying to put the timeline in the past without telling us the year was by the old Mercedes-Benz car in some of the scenes and by what some of the characters were wearing. But you know, in Nollywood, when they are shooting crowd scenes, there's always that mistake by them of not being aware of their environment and the crowd, especially what the crowd are wearing. So you would imagine my surprise seeing a football jersey with Emirates written on it in a scene that was meant to be in the early 90s or late 80s. Maybe time traveling was happening at that time in the movie. Aging was also a major problem in this movie. As confusing as a stagnant timeline, some characters just refused to age in this movie. Gangs of Lagos had the potential to at least be a good movie, but the truth is, like most Nollywood movies and movies I have seen from this director, the lack of detailed, well-written story and script plagued this movie of being a good movie. The movie is not in any way close to Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York or the British crime drama Gangs of London. The only thing that worked for me in this movie is the director's bold attempt to tell the exact reality of the political spectrum of Lagos State with its thugs and criminals, who are bent on controlling the state. Other than that, the movie nosedived into oblivion in the same manner as previous movies from the director. I bet there was no scene board used in this movie, neither was there a table read. Gangs of Lagos is not for you if you are into movies that will work your brain intellectually and put you on the edge of your seat. This movie is for those that would rather keep a blind eye to what good movie is all about. If you love movies that will not intellectually work your brain, entertain you to the edge of your seat, movies laced with weak script and feeble actors that lack the basic understanding of acting, then this movie is yours for the loving. And now for my rating. I rate this movie 2/10. This is to address a mistake that was made in the writing of this review, specifically regarding the football jersey seen in one of the movie scenes. Instead of stating Uber Eats, I erroneously mentioned Emirates. However, upon closer examination, it is evident that the Olympique de Marseille jersey had the words Uber Eats clearly written on it. Nevertheless, the inclusion of Uber Eats aligns with my earlier point about the movie's timeline. The Olympique de Marseille jersey featuring the Uber Eats branding was used during the 2019-2020 football season in France. Consequently, it still does not make sense for a character to be wearing that jersey in a scene intended to be set in the late 1980s or early 1990s. And with this correction, I conclude my review. See you in my next movie review. Make sure to like, comment and share this review, and remember to click on the subscribe button. Dominus Cinephile signing out.